Well, we could talk about Cape Froward National Park in Chile, but let's talk song. Today I'm going to react to a viewer's request from Patreon member Amy May and from YouTube viewer Vlada97Mai. The song is Fresh Out the Slammer. The artist is Taylor Swift. The album is the poet thing, the Tortured Poets Department, the Anthology, and I really want to know what this song is about. Without further ado, let's get going. Step 1, find tonal center of the key. Quite confusing. I think it's might it be a major? Yes. Step 2, find the chord progression. I believe we're talking about a 1/6 minor 4 idea, which is rather interesting. It starts as this classic doo-wop progression, which is supposed to be 1/6 minor 4/5, but we don't get this dominant feel at the end of the progression. So we basically have got leaving us floating at the end, which is what the 4 chord is supposed to do.
Now, pretty baby, I'm running back home to you.
Interesting, it's always that same landing on the D chord. Step 2, find melody, this time from the verse. Now. Interesting.
Now, pretty baby, I'm running back home to you.
Look at this here. What a beautiful idea. A minor 9 chord, basically. So it's the 9 of the F sharp minor chord. We start with chord notes, right? Ba-dum, 3 and 1. Then we've got so there's 9 over the F sharp minor, and then we go to the A with D chord, so the 5 of the chord. Really interesting already. Now, pretty baby, I'm running back home to you. Really not very meaningful as a first line.
Fresh out the slammer, I know who my first call will be to.
Certainly clear rhyming relationship between the first 2 lyric lines. Also, the melody does the same as before. Fresh out the slammer, title of the song. I know who my first call will be to. A sneaky rhyme with you and to.
Fresh out the slammer,
Interesting. So this was on the D chord that created that floaty vibe at the end. Fresh. Repeating of the title, good idea.
fresh out the slammer,
Fresh out the slammer. Oh, very on the grid, on the beats, right? Fresh out the slammer. Oh, cool.
another summer taking cover, rolling thunder, he don't understand.
I get Fortnite vibes. You know I didn't really like Fortnite. What I mean with this is that we have got 1 chord progression, in that case a 1/6 minor 4 thing, and we seem to be developing new melodic ideas in the different sections on it. Another summer taking cover, rolling thunder, he don't understand me. You are allowed to say he don't if it fits your metric rhythm. I checked with the Royal Institute of Lyric Writing. Another summer taking cover is cool. Rolling thunder, he don't understand me. So we've got 3 very short lines that kind of rhyme with each other. Summer, cover, and thunder, certainly creating similarities. And the 4th line is the odd one out. He don't understand me. We expect an answer to that idea in the second half of whatever this is.
Rolling thunder, he don't understand me.
Before we do that, let's look at melody.
Another summer
Right? A to B all the time.
taking cover, rolling thunder, he don't understand me.
really surprising jump down from A to D at the end of the melodic phrase. So we've got this as the melodic motif, right? This then we develop into basically same idea, only that now it's a downward movement, always landing on the B. And the unexpected ending of the melodic phrase is, of course, stand me.
Winter back in winter, silent dinners, bitter, he was with her.
See, we had one unresolved rhyme with that understand me, and now this gets rhymed with in dreams, with the same pattern. 3 short lines and a longish one. Splintered, back in, winter. Wait a minute. Splintered, back in, winter, silent, dinners, bitter. That's interesting. So another summer taking cover is clear that we have got the end of line rhymes. With splintered, back in, winter, silent, dinners, bitter, we kind of create confusion, which is beautiful. Splintered, back in, winter, silent, dinners, bitter, he was with her dreams. He was with her in dreams, right? In dreams was the 4th line that wraps up everything. Interesting that she would choose this confusing element in this second verse half. I'm sure it means something. I don't know what.
He was with her in dreams.
And of course you don't say in dreams, but you say in dreams, dear Taylor. I know you know.
Gray and blue and fights and tunnels, handcuffed.
See, again, same chord progression, new melody idea. This time, do 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 do.
Gray and blue and fights and tunnels, handcuffed to the spell I was under.
Grey and blue and fights and tunnels, handcuffed to the spell I was under. Weird rhyme with tunnels and under, which I still like.
For just 1 hour of sunshine.
Why? Curious. So, new melodic idea was this. Then she gets bored of this and then she does, which is beautiful, but that really doesn't have a relationship to the other melodic ideas.
Years of labor locks and ceilings.
Repeat that original melodic idea that she started with this section.
But it's gonna be alright. I did my time.
New idea, but it's gonna be alright. I did my time. And now she starts something new, which might not be so new after all. Again, it's really hard to spot the different sections. It's really hard to say this is verse, this is chorus, this is pre-chorus. What I'm more than convinced now is that the beginning of the song, this now pretty baby I'm running back home to you because it reappears, is in fact the chorus of the song. By that logic, we would have another summer taking cover as the verse.
Another summer taking cover.
It's very hooky in its own right, so it was kind of hard to differentiate the one thing from the other. This would make the Grey and Blue and Fights and Tunnels
Gray and blue and fights and tunnels.
the pre-chorus, and the transition from the pre-chorus to the chorus, quite interesting, is
But it's gonna be alright.
but it's gonna be alright.
I did my time.
I did my time with that Lana Del Rey time.
Pretty baby, I'm running back home to you.
I don't know why she doesn't put more energy into the arrangement of the second chorus, but this is arrangement and not song. Sorry about that. Fresh out the slammer, I know my first call will be to. It's weird, right? I know who my first call will be to. Weird. Well, it's not supposed to be poetic. She's fresh out the slammer.
Fresh out the slammer. Camera flashes, welcome bashes.
Okay, now we are clearly in second verse.
Let the matches toss the ashes off the ledge.
Bum. really nice recurring motif. Camera flashes, welcome bashes, get the matches, toss the ashes of the latch. This time including a fifth rhyme. Sorry, this time including a fourth rhyme to that 3 ideas that is buried in the 4th line with ashes.
Better, I will never lose my baby again.
Variation on the melody, baby again. And I think she also did that confusing rhyme thing. And as I said, first of all, we've got a pickup melody for the first time, which I think the lyrics require.
As I said in
my right?
my letters, now that I know better.
Yeah, she does it again. In my letters, now that I know, it's not supposed to rhyme, but then she says, better, I will never lose my baby. This is the back and forth of those tiny ideas is really, really fascinating.
My friends tried, but I wouldn't hear.
See, what I struggle with is that both the verse and the pre-chorus, if we want to call it that, start on the downbeat melody-wise. And it's very, very strong rhythms, which makes it even more obvious that they start on the downbeat. Listen to this one.
Camera flashes, welcome back.
Right? Very much on the grid. Camera flashes, welcome bashes. And in the pre-chorus, she does...
My friends tried, but I wouldn't hear it.
My friends tried, but I wouldn't hear it. Also, very, very assertive melody beginning that doesn't create too much contrast. And if you've got the same chord progression, then you run the risk of making this kind of not so clear in the distinction. The Tortured Poets Department. It just so happens to be the album that Fortnite is on, and I get a lot of Fortnite vibes.
For just one glimpse of his smile.
And this beautiful mispronunciation or misstress of his smile. His smile, right? Not his smile.
All those nights he kept me going, swirled you into all of my poems.
Right, this is what I want. All those nights you kept me going, swirled you into all of my poems. What a beautiful rhyme between going and poems, something that not a lot of people have tried before. And it's certainly new lyrics in that pre-chorus idea.
Now we're at the starting line, I did my time.
Right, again. Ba-da-dum. Probably transitioning into 3rd chorus.
Now, pretty baby, I'm running.
Whoa! Now that's interesting. That was certainly deceiving the listener's expectations.
To the house, we still wait up in that porch like glee.
They seem to simplify the chord progression a little bit. They now, I think, get rid of the F-sharp minor idea, turning this into a 1/4 progression only. Certainly primary bridge. With that deceiving beginning that I liked really much. Now, pretty baby, I'm running, and then she doesn't run, but instead tells us where to.
To the house, we still.
I think it literally slows down the song, right? It has got new tempo now. To the house where you still...
Wait up in that porch like leaves.
Not really melody. So the only tiny melody line is that. The rest is basically spoken language. To the house where you still wait up and the porch light gleams. Of course, it's a very clear and beautiful image.
To the one who says I'm the girl of his American dreams.
Who says that? You're the girl of my American dreams. It's not very romantic, is it? Never mind. Line beginnings are the same. To the house where you still wait up and that porch light gleams. To the one who says I'm the girl of his American dreams. Apparently, we could interpret that the house is more important because it gets mentioned earlier and then the person only comes in second.
And no matter what I've done, it wouldn't matter anyway.
I think this is a new melody line as well, and no matter what I've done, it wouldn't matter anyway.
Ain't no way I'm gonna screw up now that I know what's at stake here.
Certainly 2 lines that rhyme with each other, but that are taken out of the blue. And there was a here.
At the park where we used to sit on children's swings.
New idea. Ba-da-dum, ba-da-dum. where we used to sit on children's swings.
Wearing imaginary rings.
It's very, very loose now in terms of grit. Wearing imaginary rings.
But it's gonna be alright. I did my time.
And I think this was the transition before the chorus line. So at first it seemed like they were staying on that 4 floaty chord, but then in the background we heard that they took up the chord progression for a tiny fade out, and then they went back to the 1/6 minor 4 chord. This was Taylor Swift's Fresh Out the Slammer, and I'm sure we can take away valuable songwriting learnings. Songwriting learning number 1, something that I think they could have considered more here, especially if you've got a basically 3-chord song where all sections have got the same chord progression. Please make sure to look at major differences in the metric rhythm, in the melody beginnings especially. In that case, they were not quite successful with that. When I say they, I mean Jack Antonoff and Taylor Swift. No Max Martin would have allowed this, I'm sure of this, because all 3 sections, chorus, verse, and pre-chorus, starts on the downbeat. Listen to this here.
Now, pretty baby, I'm
So assertive. Now, pretty baby. Of course, it has to be assertive because it says now, pretty baby, but maybe you want to include some uncertainty in the verses.
another summer.
Another summer. Yes, there is a tiny, tiny pickup with another summer, but it's so tiny that it's basically a downbeat beginning. And then we have got
Gray and blue and fights.
gray and blue and fights and tunnels. It makes it children's song-like, right? I think it would have deserved more depth in that regard. We will try and look at those things and avoid them. Songwriting learning number 2, relatively confusing but fresh song structure, where we start with the chorus. So we basically have got chorus, verse, and pre-chorus, and then repeat this. Chorus 2, verse 2, pre-chorus 2. Then we have got a chorus 3, and interestingly enough, where we start with the primary bridge, that was this confusing thing that is going to be my songwriting learning number 3, so I'm not going to give away too much. But we certainly end on the primary bridge, right? With this ad-libby ideas at the park where we used to sit on children's swings wearing imaginary rings, but it's gonna be all right, I did my time. This is all resulting out of the primary bridge ideas, which then formed kind of a primary bridge / outro idea. Something that I have never tried and something that I just might try now. And songwriting learning number 3, certainly my personal gem out of this song here, this deceiving 3rd chorus that in fact turns out to be the primary bridge. Listen to this.
Now, pretty baby, I'm running.
And everybody wants to continue singing, but it doesn't happen. So this is something that is really, really interesting, especially combined with that new rhythmic arrangement, maybe even slower tempo. Very, very impressive in that regard. And this is something that we should certainly put into our songwriting toolbox so that we can take it out in time. And this was my live reaction and on-the-fly analysis of Taylor Swift's Fresh Out the Slammer from the album The Tortured Poets Department. I've listened to Fortnite, I've listened to So Long London, I've now listened to Fresh Out the Slammer. I know that this album means a lot to you guys. I think in terms of strong pop songwriting, Life of a Showgirl is in a whole new world, right? In a whole new dimension. I think this album here has got its place in terms of casual poetry, everyday poetry, right? This side of Taylor Swift that I knew, or that I have known for a long time. What really blows me away is that new perspective that I got for her in The Life of a Showgirl, something that I'm lacking here a little bit. I hope you don't mind. if you still liked my reaction video to this, please make sure to like the video, to subscribe to the Let's Talk Song channel, and to leave friendly comments, maybe suggesting other songs, or maybe giving arguments to change my mind about the Tortured Poets department. Please also check out ways to support me further. Big thanks to Andrew Morgan, big supporter here on YouTube, and to JC Prince of Wales and Amy May over on Patreon. Thanks again to Patreon member Amy May, especially for suggesting that song analysis. I think we've talked song. You can talk about Cape Froward National Park in Chile now. Bye bye.